Dear Mr. Ross, recently we have been studying Western expansion. After investigating many major groups and my own family's journey, I learned that the American dream had an overall positive impact. As the following video plays, you will see several images that depict many events that took place during this important time.
If I saw you in heaven, would it be the same? If I saw you in heaven, I must be strong and carry on.
The Homestead Act took place in about 1854. The Homestead Act was a law passed by the U.S. Congress. It stated that 160 acres of unoccupied land would be given to each qualifying homesteader if they developed and farmed the land for 5 years. The Homestead Act took place from 1854 for several decades. My family moved from Tennessee to Nebraska in 1869. Farmers came from the east because they didn't have their own land, and the Homestead Act was a hopeful and promising way to accomplish that. Around this time, the U.S. was recruiting Europeans to come and develop this new and untouched land. Many immigrants came to this new land just for this Homestead Act. They were coming to America with high hopes and great expectations. Back in Europe, there was little opportunity for many European citizens. My family moved from work in the already developed land of Tennessee to Nebraska in order to own their own land and take part of this Homestead Act. So little was known about the West, but this opportunity for a greater life was so remarkable that my family made the move anyways.
Time can bring you down, time can bend your knee. Time can break your heart, have you begging me.
There were also many other jobs people could have in the U.S. One of those jobs was working on the railroad. There was no transportation from the east to the west. Herders and ranchers needed a better way to transport their livestock, and miners on the coast needed a better way to transport the coal. Many immigrants, Chinese and Europeans, worked together and built the train tracks. Along the way, we encountered the Indians. We learned a lot about the land from them. We learned about their way of life. Sadly, we were at disagreements with the natives. The land we wanted was their home. They were forced to walk the Trail of Tears. They were forced out of their land and pushed to the east to live on a reservation. On the other side of my family tree, my great-great-grandmother was amongst the people who had to walk this trail. In 1830, just a year after taking office, Jackson pushed a new piece of legislation called the Indian Removal Act. The Indian Removal Act was a removal treaty with the Indian tribes living east of the Mississippi. It said that the natives had 2 years to give up their land in the east in exchange for a piece of land in the west. The Cherokee tribe, where my great-grandmother came from, was one of the major native groups that walked this Trail of Tears from Georgia to Oklahoma.
If I saw you,
Missouri became the 24th state in 1824. Missouri was one of the many southern slave states when it was joined in 1856. Slavery was banned by the 13th Amendment. When Missouri became part of the United States, they could no longer be a slave state. A little later, my ancestors showed up in the state of Missouri. It was around the year 1879. Missouri was a recently developed area and on the borderline being in the east. The Missouri River flows into the Mississippi River, dividing the state of Missouri in half. Missouri was amongst the first developed lands in the West. My family started in Europe, where there were little jobs and scarce opportunities. They came to the developing Americas for a better life. Jobs were everywhere. Hopes for new life and land were right at their fingertips. As the new Americas grew and expanded towards the West Coast, the American dream became a reality. Life was good and held high hope. Manifest Destiny is having obvious faith in making America better. Not only did Western expansion build and help the United States, it also improved the lives of many. Dreams were born, and so was our country.
If I saw you